it comes to soft plastics, there's so many on the market today. Some are just straight plastic, some of them are salt impregnated, some have scent impregnated. But let me tell you, from using all of the products that are on the market, I've used this Trigger X for about the last 2 years and I'm very impressed. The fish seem to be really stimulated, and the reason is that they're injected with pheromones that actually make fish aggressive, and this stuff has been tried and tested in Europe, and now fishermen are discovering it all over North America. The other nice thing that I like about the Trigger X is that it's a very dense material that they use, so I don't have to put in like silicate sand or salt, but when you actually put these on, they're very easy to hook. And even if you don't add any weight to them, they'll actually have a nice drop rate, especially if you're fishing in shallow water. Now, because of the scent, each one of them comes individually packed. So even though you can see here the frogs are in a 2-pack, and then we have the trailers that are in a 6-pack like this, when you're about to use it, all you do is you take this foil that it's protected in and you peel it back. And then you take it out and put it on and you fish with it. Come on, you nice largemouth that likes to hang around cover. Come on, are you gonna jump? I'll tell you, the hardest part is when you get a fish on like that is to keep him out of the cover. This isn't a monster, he's a good 3-pounder, but what they do is they try to go right back underneath the dock. So I came into this bay, and this is adjacent to the really weedy area that we were fishing. I had to get my breath. And I just told the camera crew I just missed a fish. It ate half my worm. So I re-rigged, took me about 2 minutes, and fired it back in there. And I guess this guy was active enough that he took that worm. You can see that I've got him kind of double hooked there. The hook just came out. Nice little largemouth. Now, you know, I don't know if you believe me or not, but you know the really thick grassy area that we were in a little while ago? It's maybe, the entrance to that is this culvert that I've been going back and forth with the boat. We're maybe 500 yards away. I believe that this bass could have been there an hour ago, because these fish move around so much, both largemouth and smallmouth, that it could have been in that thick weeds looking for frogs and so on, and then coming out here in the open part of the bay and probably ducked under the first cover it found, which happened to be a person's boat dock. So here's a strategy for fishing boat docks. We just came from a really big area full of weeds where it was almost too much of a good thing. So the bass have so much cover that we raised a few fish. I got some out of heavy slop. When you come out here, look at this shoreline. There's no weeds on the surface. There's one boat and dock there, one dock. Now, instead of going to the dock that has the boat and the motor on it, my first reaction from tournament fishing in the old days was to go to the boat that has no motor on it. Guess why? Probably hasn't been used, so people haven't been walking up and down the dock. So there's a good chance if there's a bass there that he's going to be underneath that dock instead of the other one. We see the fellows outside working on his lawn. He's probably been down to the dock walking around, and whatever bass might have been under his dock would have spooked out and probably gone to that one. Now, look at this. Doesn't that look like a little minnow? It's so nice and straight. And this particular color is called Mai Mai. It's got a little bit of sparkle in it, or metal flake. You know, a simple lure like this, which doesn't have any kind of an action tail, and we refer to this as a plastic grub, and this one is a finesse minnow because you have to produce the action. Unlike a twister tail or some other type of plastic grubs that when you pull them or they drop, there's a lot of tail action, a finesse minnow doesn't have any action. And you can see here that this little finesse minnow is only about 2 1/4 inches long, and it has a very light 1/8 ounce jig head. When you fish these finesse baits, it's important that you get it close to the bottom, and if you look, you can see that it has a flat head. That means that when it's going to be falling, it's going to plane to one side or the other. Now that's important because when it hits the bottom, to give it the right action, all you do is shake your line, which makes this finesse minnow look like a real minnow. So you lift it up, it planes, falls to one side or the other.